Hi everyone, I'm going to share with you today an introduction on how to use the Breakout Rooms tool. We're going to look at getting started, how to set up your breakout room, how to open the rooms, and how to manage them once they are opened. So we're going to start with the settings. You need to go into your Zoom website, look for the in-meeting option, and then look for breakout rooms. You'll need to toggle that breakout room to be switched on. Now, once you've done that in your settings of Zoom, prior to starting your session, now you've started your session, you will be able to open your breakout rooms. You'll notice in the toolbar at the bottom, you now have this option for breakout rooms. So you would click on the breakout room options. You're given a window, and this window is where you divide up your groups. Now there's several things that can happen here. Where it says assign, and it has a number, the number of participants, this number would be dependent upon how many participants are in your current session. Now, what you would be changing is the number of rooms, and this would vary based on what activity you're using your breakout rooms for. If you're using it for partners, then you would obviously have more breakout rooms so that there are just 2 participants in each breakout room. The 2 other things that you can choose here are automatically, and that means if you keep that selected, that Zoom automatically will send random students or participants into the rooms. If you would like to select who is in the room, then you need to choose manually. Once you've done that, you would create your rooms, and then you would have the number of rooms listed here on the left, and this right here says assign, and that's where you're going to assign the participants to each of the rooms. You would click on that, and a drop-down menu is going to appear with the participants' names on it. So you click next to whomever is going to be in that particular group. And before opening the rooms, I like to set my options so that I don't allow the participants to return to the main session. I let them stay in the room, and they stay there until I've closed the session. You can also set it so that the countdown after you've closed the breakout rooms is less or more. It's automatically defaulted at 60 seconds. Once you've done that, you're going to open all the rooms. And once you've clicked open all the rooms, the members of the participants of your session are going to start disappearing into their breakout rooms. So now, once they're in their breakout rooms, how do you manage them? Well, you clicking on breakout rooms, you would get this window, and it's going to have the list of all the rooms that are existing, and you would select join. So you go in as the host and join the individual breakout rooms. So now I've joined, and I find my 2 members that are in the breakout room here. This is what it would look like. They are at this moment sharing their whiteboard. They are also able to share their screen if they were going to be looking at information on the internet or watching a video together. That is a possibility for them when they're in their breakout room. So how does that look as a student? They go to share content, share their screen, or if they're choosing whiteboard. I admittedly haven't used the other options. And this is what it looks like for the students working from an iPad. They would start their broadcast. It shows that they're sharing their screen. And then, for example, they can go into Teams. They can pull up their assignments that they're working on and share those and have their conversation with their teammates or their partners whilst in the breakout room. As the host, there's a button on the bottom that says leave the breakout room. So you would leave that breakout room. It brings you back to this window, and you can continue joining other breakout rooms as is necessary. Or once you've decided that the breakout room session is finished, You would then close all rooms and the students would start reappearing in your main section. So now we're going to look at some of the things that I've used the breakout rooms for. Partner work has been an example. I've used it for reading. So I have my students, instead of being in the classroom for shoulder-to-shoulder reading, I send them into the breakout room and they're there with their books and they are reading with their buddy. I've also used it for buddy help. If they are working on an assignment and they would like to work together in partners, I send them into the breakout room to do so. Then I've also used it for group work. I have, for example, book club. 3 groups in my classroom that are reading 3 different books. They have their questions that they need to answer for that particular book. So I set up my breakout rooms for those groups to work together. I've also can use it for centers where I create my breakout rooms and I send them into the breakout rooms because they're working on different activities. It's not as dynamic getting up and moving around in the classroom, but it's a way for differentiation to be in place. I also have used breakout rooms for my group projects. I've got students researching, and so they're broken up into groups, and the breakout sessions or breakout rooms is a really good way for them to get together and do their research. So they have a student in their group, in their breakout room group, sharing their screen. They're looking at information on the internet. They're also sharing their screen if they're with their PowerPoint presentation that they're creating together. And it's been a great way for collaboration amongst my students. The other use for breakout rooms that I've incorporated when I'm giving a test, a unit test, has been for teacher help. Students are taking their tests during our lesson time. Everyone's muted, everyone's working on their test, but if a student needs some assistance from me, I can then create the breakout room. I set up just one breakout room. I assign manually that one student. I send them to the breakout room, and then I join that breakout room to have a private one-on-one conversation to help assist them with whatever troubles they're having on their test. And the last example or way that I've been using breakout rooms is just for fun. We have games that we play in the classroom, whodunit game where we have a detective trying to solve the mystery, and I need to send that detective out of the room for a moment while my students are devising an elaborate crime and then creating their alibis. And then once we've done that, I bring the detective back into the room and we go through the procedures of trying to figure out who did the crime, who done it. I have also used virtual recess in breakout rooms. So I have my students that like to spend some time together alone in their groups of friends. I send them into a breakout room and they are able to just spend some time with one another in this virtual platform. And I've also used it for group trivia where I present questions. I break the students up into groups. They go into their breakout rooms. They discuss the answers with one another. They come up with the final answers. And when we come back into the main session, we share and see how many points each team got. So those are just some ways that we've used breakout rooms for fun. So thank you so much for your time today. I hope that this helps you. I encourage you to try to use the breakout rooms. It's a game changer in the dynamic of your Zoom lesson, and the kids really enjoy the opportunity of breaking off into smaller groups. Thank you.